Hello, guys. Welcome, everybody, to Purple A's podcast. I am your host who bleeds purple and gold, Isaac here. So the Vikings, they now lose their second in a row. They fall to 5-2 after losing to the LA Rams at SoFi Stadium. Final score 30-20. Just absolutely rough, bro. This is just rough. I feel like this is a lot more rough than the Lions game because going into this game, Vikings talent-wise, they outclass the Rams, but they fell short. They fell. So, there were some good things, to take away from this game. Sam Darnold, I thought he played well enough to try to get this team a win. I mean, he played pretty good enough. He was 18 of 25, 240, 2 touchdowns. He absolutely played really good when he was given the ball. It's just a shame that the coaches had to let him down today, man. It's just a shame, bro. And then we get to Justin Jefferson. He had himself another big game. Got going early on. I just don't know why we didn't see him more in the second half. 8 catches for 115 yards. He absolutely lit up the Rams defense. And Trent Sherfield, he finally got a touchdown pass. And Josh Oliver had multiple big time plays. He had a touchdown pass too. He had a touchdown as well. Andrew Van Ginkel, he's absolutely been, and I said this before, he's making plays consistently. In spite of the Vikings losing, Andrew Van Ginkel's been the lone guy. Harrison Smith has been nice, making some nice TFLs. I feel like the best player in the secondary, Will Reichard, was perfect. No surprise there. Ryan Wright also had multiple big-time punts to down the Rams deeper. And now let's get to how the Vikings lost last night. The referee officiating crew was complete sauce. It was absolutely some sauce out there. And they called 15 penalties, and there was one play in particular where the safety happened at the 5. There was a clear face mask on Sam Darnold as he was being pulled down, and there was a few officiating crew members that were right there and they didn't see it. I mean, that could have very well extended the Vikings' drive from the 5. But yeah, the refs were complete sauce last night. They were complete sauce. But I did not come here to complain about that one call because the Vikings simply did not play good enough to win. Starting off with the defense for Brian Flores. This defense has been atrocious the last 2 games. Matthew Stafford, who has been struggling this season, he's been turning the ball over more than he's passed touchdowns. But against your defense, 25 of 34, 279 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. He just completely laid back. There was no pressure really at all. If you were bringing 4, it was just easy. It was just easy. And if you had to blitz and then it didn't work, it brings pressure on the cornerbacks, which the cornerbacks were still atrocious out there, man. They gave up 100 passing yards to Puka Nacua, who returned. And also a journeyman wide receiver. I forgot who his name is. One journeyman quarterback wide receiver scored 2 touchdowns on you. Oh, journeyman wide receiver. Think about that, man. And then you also And also on the ground, you couldn't tackle really. I mean, you did a little bit of a better job tackling wise on Kyron Williams, but overall, the passing game, like Matthew Stafford continuously found all the soft spots on this defense. And Brian Flores, bro, like you gotta switch up something, bro. Like your defense has been like the Rams and the Lions cracked the code of your defensive scheme. Like that is not something that I should have to see or to say, but you have to like switch things up. Like you really have to switch things. I mean, yes, you did get some stops. Like you got an interception and you got, I believe, a sack, but overall, your defense just continuously gave up multiple big plays. Like, I should not have to be seen. And I'm very disappointed in Brian Flores. I am very disappointed. Because I thought this was going to be. I thought this was a top 5 defense. But right now, I mean, like, this defense, I mean, like, they look like this is Ed Donatel defense. Like, straight up, this is an Ed Donatel defense if I've ever seen it before, bro. Like, you can't make this up, bro. Like, unacceptable. And also the offensive, going to the offense, the run and pass protection was Swiss cheese also. 3 sacks. They allowed 3 sacks onto Sam Darnold. Crucial sacks that they gave up. One in particular for a big 13 loss. Are you kidding me? And also the run protection was non-existent. The Vikings averaged 2.5 yards per carry. Against the Rams, who were giving up 151 on average, you could only muster up 2.5 yards per carry? No. That's pathetic, bro. And you can't just be like, you cannot do that, man, against a Rams defense who is not that good. I thought maybe they would have success up against the forefront, but they did not. They did not have a good day. And also the penalties. I mean, the penalties were atrocious. They were not disciplined enough, man. 9 penalties called. 5 of those penalties were on defense, which gave up 3 first downs, which extended Rams' drives. 5 of those penalties were on defense, which resulted in first downs. And also, you gave up 3 costly offensive penalties that got back. Like, I mean, there were just multiple in the second half. And also, Jalen Naylor. Like, you got to catch that football. You got to catch the football. On third down, you had a chance to extend the Vikings' drive, and you drop it. And now let's get to Kevin O'Connell, bro. He needs to give up play calling right now, man. I just don't think that this is going to be a championship thing. In terms of winning championships, if you're going to win one, which this team is capable of, Kevin O'Connell needs to give up play calling. You just can't be doing this, man. After, the first scripted drive, boom, touchdown, boom, touchdown. You only scored 6 points. You did not score a touch, not get in the end zone the rest of the way. That is unacceptable. Like, I get it. I'm not blaming it entirely on KOC. It's not all his fault. But he's also the reason that you did not win at all. Like, you gotta sometimes overcome that adversity. Like, here's basically good examples of that. After you had 2 red zone trips where you settled for field goals. The difference in those drives is you ran back-to-back run plays. Back-to-back run plays on first and second down multiple times. You did it 10 times in the second half, and you and you only had 20 yards. Like, that's pathetic. Like, why would you even do that? Like, you had to settle for field goal after a Byron Murphy interception. You were at the 4-yard line, and you could only come away with a field goal instead of a touchdown. And then how about the other red zone trip? How about that one where you don't... And then you basically, after the next red zone trip, you run another back-to-back run play call. And you just stall out those 2 drives alone. You stalled them out and you settled for field goals. Like, that's just unacceptable. And how about the discipline? How about when you need to show urgency? The Rams did a boneheaded play where Cooper Kupp ran out of bounds. You got plenty of time. And yes, it was at the 5. And when you need to get going, you instantly, Jordan Addison does a pre-snap penalty. Like, where's the discipline in this team? Like, what is the deal with the discipline on this team, bro? Like the penalties are the main killer of this game. And you did not have them disciplined enough. Defensively and offensively, you never had them disciplined. And that is what... And the pre-snap motion penalties have been happening for so much. How come you can't get going and be set when you need to the most? Like, that has been a major issue for such a long time, bro. Like, unacceptable. I mean, Kevin O'Connell needs to give up play calling. I mean, nothing bad about this guy. He's a good person, bro. Like, he's a very positive dude, but in terms of being a head coach, calling plays, you're not it, bro. That's not it. Like, you run away from the scripted drives, run out. Your offense runs out. Like, sometimes you need to overcome the defense and carry the defense sometimes. Like, that's okay. I am okay with that. If you at least try as a head coach. But if everything else falls apart, you fall apart. And that's unacceptable. And I get the offensive line wasn't good. Jalen Naylor dropped the 3rd down. The defense was garbage, and the refs completely screwed us at the end, but you really should not have to do this. Like, you have to overcome the refs sometimes, but you couldn't do it, bro. Like, I'm not saying this season is over by any means, but the last 2 losses that you had is what's concerning the most, and how you looked in these 2 games. It is how you looked. Like, honestly, this isn't what championship teams do. They don't look like this on a consistent basis. They don't look like this. So, changes really need to happen. Like, you need to change up the play calling, the defensive schemes. It needs to happen, because I don't want this team to go in a colossal meltdown again. No, I do not want that. So bottom line is, changes need to be made, basically, in order to be... That is the difference between contenders and pretenders. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Skull Vikings.